Penguin Random House presents On Meditation, Finding Infinite Bliss and Power Within by Shri M. Read by Rajiv Dadia. 1. Why should we meditate? What is meditation? Meditation is a very wide concept. The usage of the word meditation in English refers to three of the parts of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras: Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Dharana means the capability or the capacity or the practice by which one can put one's mind exclusively in one stream of thought. When that matures and becomes a continuous process, then that dharana becomes dhyana. When that dhyana can be sustained for a continuous period, then one can experience and understand what samadhi is. Many a time when a question like this is asked, a person is asking about a technique. All practices for meditation that are prescribed in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are included when we discuss meditation. The actual experience comes only with practice, and this may be specific to an individual. However, practicing the techniques is a good start. Patanjali describes this exercise of constant and continuous practice over a long period of time as Nairantarya Bhyasena and Dirghakale. When we can do this for a length of time with absolutely no distractions, then we enter into a state where we forget that we are even meditating. There is only that state. That is called meditation. The object you are meditating on, the meditator, and the process all become one. Once you experience this, all other definitions simply become techniques towards the goal. There is no reaching out or grasping, just being. There is a cessation of all movement. Remember, this can come about only because of the practice of a technique that has been taught. So until you reach that point, the practice of the technique that has been taught to you is what is considered meditation up until that time. And reading about it is not a remedy. While reading initially does help, regular practice cannot be compromised. You need constant practice over a long period of time. Dirghakale. Now, a wonderful thing happens once you reach a certain stage in your meditation. Whatever you're doing, anywhere, in any situation, there is a constant stream of inner bliss independent of anything else. This is something permanent and is what we are all seeking. This is what Omar Khayyam is alluding to in his Rubaiyat. Patience and one-pointed attention are required. Why should we meditate? Let me start with a story which gives a clue as to what we are trying to connect with when we meditate. Imagine that you are standing on the street and looking at the footpath. You see a man slowly walking along the street. He's old, looks very weak, with a bundle of clothes over his shoulder. You think he's some kind of a beggar, breathing hard and slowly trudging along. He looks as if he might fall on the ground and die at any moment. Now, imagine a bus coming, and at the last moment, the driver notices the man and brakes suddenly. The bus screeches to a halt, blaring its horn. 9 times out of 10, this poor man, who you think cannot move another inch, who you think will fall over and die, will clear all long jump records when he sees that the bus is about to hit him. The question is, how did he do it? Somebody looking at the man from the outside would think he cannot move another 2 steps. He looked so weak and vulnerable. What happened to him when he suddenly faced the danger of the bus hitting him? How did he clear the long jump record from this side of the road to the other? That is the question. There are many ways of looking at this. The first is, suddenly faced with a threat, he jumped. But where did this energy come from? The second is a medical or biological explanation. In the brain, there is a section called the limbic system, which is there to alert you and to make you react when there is a sudden threat to your life. It's a built-in feature of the old reptilian brain. So, when the limbic system is set into action, the man reacts. Specifically, there is a switch in the limbic system which suddenly pumps a large amount of adrenaline into his system. This adrenaline temporarily gives him the energy to jump. These are chemical and biological explanations. The yogic or Vedantic explanation says that the man's past experiences up until this point have led to thought processes that made him think he's old, he is weak, he's going to fall over and die, etc. While these thoughts were constantly going on in his mind, at that particular time of danger, when the limbic system set things into operation, he had no time to think. He had no time to think and condition himself with the thought that he cannot do it. Thought is a powerful weapon. It can be limiting and it can be unconditioning, both. In this case, in his normal mode of existence, he puts 2 and 2 together very logically and thinks, I was in the hospital 6 months ago, I'm weak in my legs and I can't jump. So on and so forth. But in that particular moment of danger, he didn't have time to think and condition himself to say, I cannot do this. Thought can condition you and make you think that you cannot do something. And thought can also be conditioned to say, yes, I can do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't think. You should think. Don't put your thinking faculties in cold storage, especially when there are gurus roaming around. But in this case, to protect the body, a split second of energy came from beyond ordinary thought. The energy said, jump, and the man jumped. Now, that energy, which was accidentally triggered off in this case, can be tapped systematically and utilized for your life. First, it can be used to uncondition the mind and make it more expansive. And second, it can be utilized to gain access to infinite modes of energy. If thoughts such as, I am this body, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a child, or I am an old person can be unconditioned or at least set to rest for a while, then it's possible to access that source of all energy that is within us. Fortunately, this happens to be a blissful energy and not a painful energy. From ancient times, for thousands of years, people in the East and the West, but especially in the East, where people were more concerned with what was going on within, have discovered that there is an essence of all energy. There is an unconditioned consciousness and bliss which is in all of us in the form of a little spark inside of our being, in the core of our being. The prerequisite for touching that is that you decondition yourself from the thought that I am limited, I am this body, I cannot do this, and I cannot do that. The conditioning process on one side is philosophical, and on the other side, it is practical. There are practical ways of keeping your limiting thoughts in abeyance, at least for a while, and gradually increasing the time that you spend in an unconditioned, blissful super energy state. This is the practice or sadhana, which is about how to zero in or go into the essence of this being. An essence which is not anywhere outside, but right inside us. An essence which is equally there for all beings, whether we have discovered it or not. An essence that can be touched through the practice of meditation. What are the different reasons why people meditate? There are many reasons why people choose to meditate. For some people, it's motivated by their desire to reach a goal. What happens when we really want something? We work hard and become deeply involved in our business or the work required to achieve it. Now, naturally, when we work towards a goal, obstacles come. When obstacles come, normally we face?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?